Welcome back, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. This will be Chapter 1 of A Starstruck Legacy by Flapjack09. This fic is part of the My Hero Academia fandom. It's rated for teen and up audiences and has no archive warnings. It's 50,000 words long and has 12 chapters. It is still continuing, which means that it is possible that this fic will not be completed. However, even so, it's still one of my favorites. And one of the funniest fics I have ever read, so I needed to share it with you. This is the summary. After Izuku Midoriya makes an impression on two #1 heroes with his performance at the sports festival, he finds himself shocked when they both ask him to inherit their quirks. What will Izuku do with both One For All and New Order? Pretty much whatever he wants. And I love the concept. Kathleen Bates is one of my favorite characters, and Horikoshi did her dirty. I'm sorry. She was only around for a couple episodes, but was one of the coolest characters I have ever heard about. Not to mention the fact that her first appearance was literally riding on a jet plane. You just gotta love her. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. This is Chapter 1. It all started with a fireworks truck. Here's the summary. Star and Stripe heads to Mustafa on an important mission. Guess who she bumps into along the way? Kathleen Bate, aka the #1 American pro hero, Star and Stripe, glared into the cloudy blue sky ahead of her as she rode on top of a fighter jet. She was a woman on a mission. Several days ago, a rogue fireworks truck blew up the Lincoln Memorial and then disappeared without a trace. Citizens all over the country were devastated, so when the truck was spotted driving around Japan, somehow, Star was tasked with hunting it down. A case like this would normally get handed off to the heroes of Japan, but as one of the faces of patriotism, Star felt it her civic duty to handle this herself. That was a justice she owed to each and every state, except Ohio, a sentiment that the government agreed with wholeheartedly. We'll be approaching Japan in 1 hour. Jasper, one of Star's brothers-in-arms, spoke into her earpiece. Star, do you know where we should land? I always do, Star said as she called upon her quirk. I know the location of the fireworks truck. Musatafa, someone write that down. When one of her brothers confirmed the location, Star revoked the order. She wished she knew where in Musatafa the truck was, but she knew New Order wasn't good at specific details. Plus, she'd always forget those details when the order got revoked. But weirdly enough, she always kept whatever emotion the information provided her, this one being satisfaction. Man, her quirk was weird. All right, you all know how this works, Star said as the jets landed. We're going undercover, so dress casually, but not too casually, Arnold. You never let me have any fun, Arnold muttered as he changed out of his Hawaiian shirt. You'll all be searching the area in groups of 2, except me, obviously. Any questions? Jasper raised his hand. Did you remember to bring your Clark Kent glasses so you won't get recognized? Ye of little faith. I always keep a pair in my... Star reached into her pocket, only to feel nothing. Darn it! After the squad had a good laugh about that, Jasper dug into his backpack and pulled out 2 pairs of glasses. Would you like the Groucho glasses or the Barbie glasses? Barbie? Obviously! Star remained ever vigilant as she walked down the streets of Musatafa. Don't let the fact that she was eating several sticks of yakitori distract you. She was on her A-game. She was a master tracker, and so were her boys. Honestly, she wouldn't be surprised if this mission took less than a day. Star was pulled from her thoughts as she heard the sounds of running footsteps coming from the sidewalk across from her. She turned to see a green-haired boy in a middle school uniform getting chased by a blonde boy and 2 other kids in similar uniforms. She saw how roughed up and frightened the green-haired boy looked, and she automatically jumped into action. This might not have been related to her current mission, but she was still a hero, darn it! Jumping high into the sky and landing between the boy and his tormentors, she shot the blonde boy and his cronies a suspicious glare. And just what do you think you're doing? Move it, lady, this doesn't concern you, the blonde boy yelled. If it didn't, I wouldn't be a hero. Star removed her glasses, and the 2 cronies' eyes widened in realization and horror. That's Star and Stripe! Let's cheese it! One of them yelled before they both ran off. The blonde boy, however, stood his ground. You really Star and Stripe? He asked in an unimpressed tone. In the flesh! Upon stating that, Star sensed extreme fanboy energy radiating from the green boy behind her, but she focused her attention on the bully. Now what's your name, kid? Katsuki Bakugo, and I'm not afraid of you. You're just a Rule 63 All Might wannabe. Star let out a chuckle. Man, if I had a nickel for every time I heard that, I'd be able to open a second agency in Japan. Kacchan, that's Star and Stripe. The green-haired boy spoke up. She's more than a wannabe if her skills and power rival All Might's. Kacchan scoffed. Doesn't matter. When I become the next #1 hero, her skills won't mean anything to me. Star raised an eyebrow at that. You saying you want to be a hero, kid? Yeah, you got a problem with that? In place of a response, Star turned to the green-haired boy and asked, Kid, was this guy messing with you? Uh-huh, the boy nodded. Does he do this often, by chance? Uh-huh. Then yes, I have a problem with that, Star said to Katsuki. And what the heck is that supposed to mean? Katsuki demanded. Listen, despite how differently Japan tackles bullying compared to America, I'm pretty sure bullies don't make good heroes in either country. F you don't know anything. I know your name, and the fact that you lack self-awareness, so that gives me the ability to do this. Star tagged Katsuki on the shoulder and said, Katsuki Bakugo is now self-aware. As soon as the order was spoken, Katsuki's eyes widened as he leaned back, seemingly making an important realization. OMG. You figured it out? Star asked expectantly. I have. Katsuki stared at his own hands in contemplation. This is all just a work of fan fiction. Huh? It's all fan fiction! Katsuki suddenly yelled. This is a podfic of a story based on a popular anime and manga franchise. A work derivative of a work derivative of another work. And I'm an antagonist. You're what? Katsuki shook his head. No, I'm not the antagonist. I'm even less than that. Just a two-dimensional jerk to serve as an obstacle for the Deku to overcome. Katsuki clutched his forehead like he was experiencing a headache. Oh god, I can see the author's visions. I'm gonna get booted out of the story as soon as possible, and then I'll practically cease to exist. At this point, Katsuki was running in circles like a chicken that got its head cut off, which made him look really stupid. Hey, I heard that, Katsuki said to me, the narrator, not realizing how much of an idiot he looked like to the people listening to him. I don't care how much of an idiot I look like. Don't you dare do me dirty like this. But I can do whatever I want. Watch. Katsuki Bakugo suddenly decided it was a good idea to punch himself in the face. Ow! Gosh darn it! See? You're more powerless than you think. Really think about the fact that I haven't expelled you from UA. Or maybe you won't even get past the entrance exam in the first place. Or maybe I'll just have you blacklisted. Hold up, I don't want to fade into irrelevancy. Is there anything I can do? Anything? Fine. You can have a second chance. The author will add a Bakugo Katsuki redemption tag. Katsuki let out a sigh of relief. Thank goodness. Now, this fourth wall break has gone on long enough, so let's get back to the actual plot. After witnessing Katsuki have a one-sided conversation with himself, Star decided to revoke the self-awareness order. Okay, might have made him a bit too self-aware, she said to herself. Katsuki may have lost all his self-awareness, but the emotions from the experience still remained. I'm going home to rethink my life, he said as he walked off, his voice devoid of all emotion. With Katsuki gone, Star turned to Izuku. You okay there, kid? That guy didn't rough you up too hard, did he? Now, under any other circumstances, Izuku would have responded to the question, but in this case, being in the presence of a #1 pro hero messed up his judgment, so he said the first thing that came to his mind. OMG, you're the #1 American pro hero, Star and Stripe! He pulled out a notebook from somewhere and opened it to a page with a drawing of a heroine in question on it. Can I have your autograph? Star let out a light chuckle. I'll take that as a sign that you're okay, but sure, I'll sign your book. The nearest pen will appear in my hand. Suddenly, a 3-foot-tall pen materialized from thin air and dropped into Star's open hand. Huh. That's weird. I must be near a Ripley's or something, she mused. After she signed her name on the notebook, Star couldn't help but read the theories and analysis surrounding her quirk on the page. Gotta say, kid, not a bad guess on my quirk. I mean, it ain't right, but you got a few details down. Izuku beamed at the praise. Really? Thank you so much! As Star finished writing down her name, she revoked the order and bent her knees, preparing to leap up into the sky. Welp, it's been fun, kid, but I've got a fireworks truck to catch. Hold on, I just have to ask you. Wait, did you say fireworks truck? Yeah, blew up the Lincoln Memorial a few days ago. That truck wouldn't happen to be blue with tinted windows and yellow headlights, would it? It is. Have you seen it? I saw it parked in front of my apartment this morning. It might still be there. That's great. Where's your apartment? It's right at the end of Yavin Street. Star's smile widened as she grabbed Izuku and placed him on her back. Lead the way, kid. Izuku pointed to his left. It's that way, but why am I on your back? We're traveling in style. What's your name, kid? Izuku Midoriya, but what does that have to do with... Izuku Midoriya has increased durability. Now hold on tight and try not to get bugs in your eyes. That was the last thing Star said before she took off and soared through the air, dragging a horrified Izuku along with her, who clutched onto her back for dear life. This is the coolest and scariest thing that's ever happened to me, Izuku yelled over the rushing winds. Yeah, I get that a lot, Star chuckled in return. Several seconds later, the pair landed right in front of the fireworks truck, right where Izuku said it would be. As the boy caught his breath, Star walked over to the truck and ripped the door off its hinges. Unfortunately, there was no driver to be found. Darn it, Star cursed under her breath. Looks like I'll have to get the boys to bring the tow truck around. Then she turned to Izuku, whose face was still pale. You all right there, kiddo? Yeah, I'm good, Izuku huffed as he tried to regain his posture. Thank you for the ride home. I have a quick question for you. Okay, shoot. It's just, well, do you think someone could be a hero, even without a quirk? Star looked up as she scratched her chin and thought. Without a quirk, you say? Yeah, it's just, I've always admired All Might and how he serves as a beacon of hope, and I've always wanted to do what he does. I've always wanted to save people with a smile on my face. So, do you think I could do that? Do you think it's possible? Well, Star began to answer, I can't personally say because I've never seen a quirkless hero before, but just because I've never seen it doesn't mean it's impossible. I mean, most of my squad is quirkless, and while they're not heroes in the traditional sense, they're certainly my heroes. I don't think I'd be where I am without them. Izuku's eyes glimmered with hope. So you're saying... I'm saying I think you could, but it doesn't hurt to keep your options open. There are many more ways to help people than just hero work. You seem like a smart kid. Maybe the support course would be more your speed. Who knows? In the end, the choice is yours, but as long as you've got the drive and perseverance, I think you can do whatever you set your mind to. Izuku gave Star a watery smile as he wiped several tears from his eyes. Thanks, Star. You've given me a lot to think about, but whatever I choose, I promise I'll do my best. And that's all you need to do. Well, that and lift some weights every now and then. Never hurts to put a little meat on your bones. I will definitely keep that in mind. Great! Star shot Izuku a thumbs up, which the boy returned. Just then, a red tow truck pulled up in front of the fireworks truck. Welp, looks like I gotta go. Hope to see you around, kid. Before the tow truck could latch onto its hood, the fireworks truck took off in reverse at 1,000,000 miles an hour. What? How did there was no... Star stood stammering for a moment before she took off after the truck, yelling, Get back here, you! The tow truck followed behind her shortly after, leaving Izuku standing there in shock and confusion. He wasn't sure what he had just witnessed, nor did he understand what the whole fireworks truck thing was about, but that didn't matter since his mind was currently focused on what Star had just told him. The more he thought about it, the more he realized how useful the support course would be for him. After all, if he wanted to be a quirkless hero, he was likely going to have to rely on support items to make up the difference. The idea of turning his analysis into a tangible asset suddenly seemed really appealing to him. Who knows? Maybe he had been looking at his dream from the wrong angle. That's the end of chapter 1. Oh man, I love this story. I laughed so much recording it. Especially, I had to retake the Ohio joke in the very beginning so many times. Anyways, as you can probably tell, I also made Katsuki's self-realization scene extra meta by referencing the fact that this is in fact a podfic, and he knows that this is a podfic. He knows that I'm narrating his life, the podfic of the fanfiction of the manga and anime series. So it's like existential crisis with existential crisis whipped cream on top. Anyways, see y'all later for chapter 2. It'll be out soon, in between my releases of What Makes a Monster and What Makes a Man. Hope to see you soon. Patch out.